Let's talk about the May 2025 Fastrack. So there's nothing necessarily big in this Fastrack, nothing major that is, but there are a couple things to know and to put out to all of you guys in case you want to know / take part in any of this. Kicking things off as usual with the recommended items section. In street category, we have the Vantage Point. There is in fact an AS and Aston. Once again, I feel like we've seen this in another Fastrack, but anyways, the SCCA is recommending the following changes to Appendix A, effective January 1st, 2026. Aston Martin V8 Vantage from SS to A Street. So that is a recommended change that might go into effect January 1st, 2026. Next up in kart class, standardized kart bodywork. Now, I'm not going to go over all of this stuff right here. If you're interested, take a look at it. I'll leave the link to the Fastrack as usual in the description down below. The gist of this change is that these rules will prevent competitors from designing and making their own bodywork for aerodynamic advantages to improve alignment with wheel-to-wheel karting rules. Essentially, they don't want anybody to have unauthorized mods like better aero or something like that somebody else might not be able to have or put on their cart, you know? That's basically what that is. Next up in member advisories, we have safety to start off. There's a lot in the member advisory, so stay tuned for this. First up in with safety is wastegate dump. Wastegate dumps are considered exhaust and thus comply with the rules. Next, grid safety. Supplemental rules are driven by event organizers, not mandated by the solo rulebook, where you continue to look at what is appropriate in grid. We've had this the past couple Fastracks. I'm not too sure entirely what's gone on with safety and grid and all this stuff, but it's talking about a better approach is to include what is appropriate. They talk about what's appropriate in the drivers' meetings, I guess, more so than they already have. As it states here, it is a good reminder to solo safety stewards that the bigger the event, the more the opportunity for wanderers in the grid rises. So I don't know if maybe there was just random spectators hanging around a grid or something, maybe at a tour or a pro. I'm not too sure, but I feel like I've seen this a couple times now. If any of you guys have an idea of what that's about, let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, moving on. 3.1 point alpha clarification, section 4.14. Point D is an appropriate measure to refuse an entry, but it may be taken as a refusal against the driver. This part of 3.1 does allow exclusion of cars which are taller than they are wide. So this right here is talking about if you're bringing a big SUV or something to the site. There are rules. It's like in the back of the book somewhere. I don't know exactly where, obviously, but like it states here, unstable vehicles with a high center of gravity and a narrow track that do not meet the rollover guidelines below must be excluded. So rollover risk cars, you got to just know if your car is a rollover risk. If it's tall, it probably is. Southwest Division DSSS. I got that right. The SSC recommends and the SCBA has approved the appointment of Phil Adams to be Divisional Solo Safety Steward for the Southwest Division, effective immediately. The SSC also thanks John Lieberman for his years of service to the program. So thank you to John Lieberman for your years of service. I never met you, but thank you for that. And also, Phil Adams, congrats on your appointment. Next up in development, Kelly Cup nominations. The Solo Development Advisory Committee and Solo Events Board are seeking nominations for the next Kelly Cup Award. The Kelly Cup, named in honor of John and Pat Kelly, is awarded to the SCCA member who has shown extraordinary dedication and contribution to a regional solo events program. As it says here, Kelly Cup finalists are chosen by the SDAC from nominations submitted by the membership at large, with the recipient selected by the SEB. So, as it states here, if you know somebody that you think is deserving of the Kelly Cup Award, go click on the link in the description down below and put in your nominations. We have plenty of people out here in the San Francisco region, but if you're watching this and you're part of another region, put who you think deserves it in that link in the description down below. Next, the Heart of Solo nominations requested. Nominations are requested for the Heart of Solo Award, which will recognize those from the solo community who have had a profound impact on their class, region, and solo community. They will have created a welcoming environment for all and lived SCCA's core values of excellence, service, passion, team, experience, and stewardship. Submit your nominations via the letters process located in the description down below. That link is there as well. Being sure to select the Solo Events Board as the program board and development as the category. So 2 different awards, 2 different nominees. Go ahead, click on the link/links. I'm not too sure if they're the same exact link. You guys will see in the description down below. Click on those links or a link and put in your nominations for these 2 awesome awards. Next, event operations. Call for national course designer applications. Again, this is back to back. The last Fastrack, I remember, had this in it as well. The SEB is seeking applicants for the course designer position for the 2025 Solo Nationals. Interested members are invited to submit their qualifications in writing to the Solo Events Board. Link is in the description down below again. National level course designers will be expected to collaborate with and may be required to adjust their designs based on input from event officials, including the safety chief, the course advisory panel, SEB, and the event chair. air. So apparently they still really need course designers. So if you're interested in that, or you know somebody that is, let them know about this and have them go to the soloeventsboard.com and submit their qualifications. Now on to street category with, first up, camber bolts on a 2022 Veloster N. We already know the answer to this. That's a hard no. If it's not crash bolts that were already on, that are OEM crash bolts that were a part from the manufacturer on that car, can't use them. Next, 2025 Toyota GR86 Hakone Edition manual transmission. Thank you for your letter. The Hakone is classified under D Street. So there you go. Classification of a 2021 GR Yaris. Per the preamble to section 13 street category, cars running in street category must have been series produced in America, basically. Yeah. Thus, the Toyota GR Yaris is not eligible for SCCA national competition. I really want to know who has a GR Yaris and when can I test drive it? Those are my questions for that letter right there. Please class the 2025 GR Corolla B Street. I mean, what do you mean by that? I don't know who wrote that, but it's been classed technically. Anyways, BS. This is actually the first mention of a GR Corolla that we've seen in I don't know how many fast tracks, but it's kind of depressing that's the letter that we see about the GR Corolla. That's just kind of whatever. Next up, wheel sizes. So somebody asked, I guess, about wheel sizes in street class. Car must run a wheel that was, if you don't know, a car must run a wheel that was a standard or optional part on a specific car option package. A wheel from an option package not installed in the car is not allowed. Per the Section 13 preamble, an option package conversion is permitted. However, such conversions must be totally complete. Car classification inquiry. Thank you for your letter. The Toyota Celica GT4 was not sold in the United States and thus is not eligible for street classification. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9MR is classified under the listing DS under Lancer Evos 2003 to 2015. I want to know who's bringing these cars. I mean, to be fair, there are like the Skylines, like, you know, the R34s and things like that. So I'd imagine Yaris and that Celica GT4 aren't necessarily out of the question, but it's like, when can I see these? Moving on, street touring category, please clarify the allowance of removing roof rails. Has this rule 14.2.c has specific allowances for components such as trim and accessories that may be removed or modified. There's no allowance to remove a load-bearing component such as roof rails. Clarification on knuckle insert replacement. Per 14.8.b, the offset knuckle bushing cited from Super Miata would be legal as long as no change to the structure of the knuckle was required to allow fitment. Sway bar rule clarification. Per the writer's request, the STAC reminds the membership that the allowances of Rule 13.7.a.c and 14.7 allow replacement of stock sway bar brackets, including those that modify position of the sway bar, but do not allow modification of any part of the frame or subframe to allow installation. Next, in street modified category, waste guitar dump tube. Per the SCCA solo rulebook section, blah, 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 exhaust must exit behind the driver or exit to the side of the car. Hood exits would not be allowed, but fender exits are permitted. Next, electric conversion. So people are trying to convert combustion engines to EVs. That's crazy, but I mean, it's expected. It's bound to happen at some point. But anyways, this is not currently permitted within street modified classes. The SMAC will monitor electrification of ICE vehicles for potential changes in the future. As a reminder, both hybrid and electric vehicles must meet the weight requirements found within Appendix A and if modified, blah, blah, blah. Next, quarter window replacement rule clarification. Per that rule of the Solo Rulebook, street modified nor subcategories allow replacement of front, side, or rear OEM style glass with alternate materials. So no go there if you're interested in that. Next, cam and XS category. New advisory committee member. The SCB has approved the addition of Raleigh Borin. I hope I'm saying that right. Congratulations on your appointment to the cam and XS committee. And next, the cam XS committee personnel. The cam XS committee is in need of more personnel. Okay, there you go. Members interested in serving on this committee are invited to submit their qualifications in writing via the soloeventsboard.com, which is once again located in the description down below. So if you're interested in becoming a part of the CAM XS committee, put in your proposal. Next up, in change proposals, street category. Please eliminate steering wheel allowance. Now this one I saw, it's not huge, but it's kind of cool. The SAC is seeking member feedback on the following changes to section 13.2, effective next year. They want to completely eliminate the rule 13.2.d, which is alternate steering wheels are allowed provided the outside diameter is not changed by more than 1 inch from the standard size. Steering wheels with an integral airbag may not be changed. Now, what I gather from this is that we'll be able to swap any steering wheel out. I don't have a clear vision of what exactly this means. I'm just assuming that this means that we can swap our OEM wheel out with any wheel now? I really don't know. That would be pretty cool though. I mean, that would allow people to customize their car a little bit, even if they keep it primarily stock. I don't know. What do you guys think about this proposed rule? Let me know in the comments down below. I think it's cool. I think it'll be a little bit more inclusive for people as well. Moving on though to street touring category, motion ratio concerns. Interesting. Talking about after reviewing the existing allowances for camber adjustment, the STAC's opinion that the other suspension allowances in street touring, such as spring and shock replacement, make restricting immediate mounting points on a control arm meaningless. Okay, so they're looking, with that in mind, the STAC requests a member comment on the following rule change proposal. Replacement arms or mounts must attach to the original standard mounting points. All bushings must meet the requirements of section 14.A.B. They want to cross out, or they want to eliminate intermediate mounting points. These shock spring mounts may not be moved or relocated on the arm except as incidental of the camber adjustment. The knuckle bearing housing spindle assembly cannot be modified or replaced. So basically they're just taking out that the intermediate mounting points cannot be moved, so they can now be moved or relocated. Well, not right now. They're requesting feedback, so another thing that you need to put your letters in for. Next up, in EVX clarification, the SCB is seeking membership feedback on a change to the bushing allowances in EVX to allow easily acquired aftermarket suspension components to be utilized in the class. This change would allow control arms that come with spherical bearings in place of rubber rotational or compliance bushings, which are increasingly common in the aftermarket. There's that. They're just adding this nomenclature in for the rules, or they're asking for feedback if you guys want that or not. Next, in street modified category, removal of sound deadening. The SMAC is requesting feedback to the following proposed rule change to street modified section 16.1. Rear passenger seats, including restraints and associated hardware, may be removed. When rear seats are removed, the back in front of the seats defines the end of the passenger compartment. Sound deadening may be removed from any part of the vehicle. Carpet behind the passenger compartment can be removed. All interior finishing panels must remain. Okay, so there's that for the street modified category. Street modified letter, headlight rule modification. So what this is this talking about that you can replace your OE headlights, including pop-ups like we've seen in the Miatas. They can be replaced with static headlights and stuff. The repositioning of them may serve no other purpose, yada yada, you know, standard stuff. There's all that. If you want to dig deeper into it, like I said, I'll leave the Fastrack link in the description down below as well. Moving on to cam excess category again, we have consider making XA a full non-supplemental class. Now, the committee is seeking member input on the transition of XA and XB from being developmental classes to being nationally competitive classes, like nationally recognized classes. XU would remain a development class though. This proposed rule change would go into effect on January 1st, 2026, and it would just update the rules as such. Next, migrate cam from supplemental classes. The committee is also seeking member feedback. Oh my god. Input. Where did I even get feedback from? Anyways, member input on the transition of the cam classes from developmental to national class as well. Same thing there. I didn't even know that cam was developmental, to be honest. It's been around for years now, so I just figured that was a legit thing. And if I remember correctly, I thought cam was already nationally recognized. Obviously, I'm wrong about that, but I don't know. I didn't know that was a thing. Anyways, side window requirement in XU. The advisory committee is seeking member feedback on a change to permit door glass removal in XU. Windshield wipers and door glass are not required. Oh, okay, there you go. Kit cars in XU. Committee believes that under the current rules, there is nothing preventing kit cars from competing in the XS class. However, the advisory committee does not feel that kit cars are within the spirit of XA or XB, and as such is seeking feedback from the membership on the following proposal to limit kit cars to XU. Seeking member feedback to add the following bullet point to the excluded from XA/XB section: kit or component cars from low volume manufacturers who intend or allow completion of assembly by the end user in order to obtain registration and titling paperwork. Okay, so there's that. They want to kind of exclude kit cars from XA and XB, which I guess is fine. I mean, yeah, that actually kind of makes sense now that I think about it. Anyways, next up, as usual, we have the not recommendeds, the other items reviewed, and the handled elsewheres, also known as the misfit inputs. And then after that, we have tech bulletins to round out this fast track, starting with safety, drone and UAS insurance. So after consultation with the SCCA Risk Management Department, the SEB has approved the following as replacement wording for 1.3.2.v. Subject to federal, so FAA, state, local laws, the rules imposed by the venue, and with the approval of the sanctioning SCCA region or SCCA Inc. program manager, known as the event organizer, unmanned aircraft vehicles, commonly known as UAVs or drones, operators/owners must provide proof of their FAA certification and provide a certificate of insurance evidencing $5 million of primary liability insurance, naming SCCA and the venue as additional insureds. Recreational use of UAVs is prohibited. Drone operators must comply with FAA regulations in accordance with Title 14 Code of Federal Regulations Part 107. That's a mouthful, including those for proximity to people, restricted property, and public roads. The sanctioning SCCA region or SCCA Inc. program manager must indicate approval in the online sanction system and upload the FAA certification and COI to the event documents. Now, this is actually pretty cool to see that drones are finally being acknowledged and there's stuff being put into place for properly and safely using them to capture footage on, during actual autocross events and taking pictures and fun videos and stuff. This, I think, will be fantastic for promoting more SCCA and promoting more autocross specifically to younger audiences and just audiences in general. We like those aerial shots. We like having drone footage. What would be cooler than having a drone, not falling right behind you, but following you during one of your runs? That would be badass, I think. So let me know what you guys think about this whole UAV thing. About this whole, I was about to say like UFO or something. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Are any of you guys FAA certified to fly any of these drones? If so, when are you gonna come out to San Francisco region events anytime soon? Please do. As long as, I don't know, you have to talk to Hal or Ed or something like that. But I think that would be fantastic, and it would be good for the future of SCCA and autocross in particular. Now, finally, in the last bit of this fantastically drab fast track in May 2025 is street category, starting off with the 2019 Hyundai Veloster Turbo R spec classification clarification. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Per letter, blah blah blah, published in the September 2024 fast track, revising Appendix A to correct an omission to the 2025 Solo rulebook and include the following: in H Street Hyundai Veloster Turbo non-N, they crossed out Rally Edition, so now it's just non-N 2017s to 2021s are in H Street. Next and lastly, card classing request for the 2022 and up BMW 230i. They are going to D Street. That's it. That was the fast track for May 2025. What do you guys think of this fast track? Let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, there are plenty of links for those two awards that we mentioned earlier, as well as, hey, if you want to be a course designer for this year's Nationals, put in your pedigree of course designs and things of that nature. And to any of you guys participating in the Pro Solo this weekend at Crow's Landing, good luck to you. Have fun. Pro Solos are great, except for your clutch. Anyways, if you guys got some good use out of this video and you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and ring the bell so you guys can be notified of more fast track videos like this. More stuff with my GR Corolla, which I will leave the link to my review video up here, probably, maybe over here, I don't know yet, one of these two areas. And be sure to look out for more videos on my racing and stuff with the GR coming here soon. Till next time, guys, keep going fast.